And we will call to order at 5:05 this evening. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. All right, I pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which
for
is
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
with
liberty,
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice for
for
all.
all.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. All right, so we'll move right on to public comment. So obviously we have a fully virtual meeting this evening, so we would be looking for any other attendees who are interested in providing public comment virtually tonight. Anybody, Devin?
Not seeing any online attendees.
Okay, perfect. So then we'll move right on to item D. Could I have a motion to approve the December 17, 2025 minutes?
so moved.
Second.
All right, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll
All
abstain.
right.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, abstain. Okay, Bill. Perfect. Thank you. We'll make sure we get
I
those.
didn't have an agenda package for the meeting tonight. I just got the link.
Oh, okay.
We'll make sure we
Alright.
get you on the distribution list,
Yeah.
Bill.
It just happened last week, so it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. All right, so then we have motion still passes for item D, so we'll move on to correspondence received 12/16/2025 to 1/16/2026. Don't believe we have anything in addition for correspondence in the package, but I will always mention here that we still certainly have our contact page that is on the homepage of our website. So we still certainly have opportunity for people to ask questions, looking for comments, clarification on anything. You can certainly reach us there as well. So we continue to look for that feedback from the community on any questions or thoughts. So we will move right on to item F, which is reports. First and foremost is chair report. The only thing I will mention is welcome to Bill. Bill, I don't think we necessarily need to do introductions per se. I think probably everybody knows you, but we'll let you do a little bit of an introduction as well when we get to your portion of report out. But we're happy to have you as part of the team as we move forward. I know you've been obviously very engaged with us all along in this process. So this is just you in a little bit of a different capacity. So welcome and happy to have you.
Thanks, Meg. Happy to be here.
All right, so we will then move right into town council liaison report.
Good evening, everyone. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Bill Beckert. I served on the Board of Ed for the last 16 years and last 2 as board chair, and I've been following along pretty closely the work of this committee. So I'm not going to make Meg kind of like give me a summary of the last 5 years to bring me up to speed. But yeah, no, so I'm pretty much aware where everything is. We did have a conversation. We did meet last night. The council did meet last night to work on the town manager's proposed, goals, part of the strategic plan for the next 2 years. And one of the goals was to consider and address how or a mechanism by which we could use some additional bonding funds that are still available under the project to repair the track and the turf field. And that to be done under the auspices of the building committee. So I don't know anything more has been developed on that, Kat, in terms of specifics, but I know that is going to be incorporated when we approve the strategic plan at our meeting next week. As a goal. It's referred to as a goal, right, Kat? And so
Yes.
question then becomes, as I understand it, would be, even though the work of this committee is beginning to wind down, and I think there's a kind of a recognition that, but for this issue, we'd be pretty much on track to wind down the work of the building committee relatively soon. anyway, that would be something that would have to be discussed at the council level. Kat, I'll kind of leave it to you for like staff comment on that.
Yeah, so as Bill said, we started to talk about the strategic plan, and the council mentioned that, you know, because the building committee has done a great job managing the finances of the project, we're in a position where maybe we can look to include the turf and the track, which are on our capital plan to be fixed. We have to do it one way or the other. The future would have to be bonded, but if we have money left over, the council is looking for us to explore if there is a mechanism to do that with the additional money we have in our owners and CM contingency. So again, last night was the first time we started talking about it. The council is going to approve the strategic plan. You know, they have another meeting next week, but I think this is just the beginning conversation of, you know, because we're in this situation, because we've done a great job managing the budget and have some money left at the end, we're going to the council saying, here's the position in which we are financially, and they would then potentially direct us to complete that work for the turf and the track.
So I don't know what more needs to be done in this committee. I'm guessing you probably want some more direction from the council and to the town manager, right, Meg?
Yeah, I would think that would be next steps, obviously, is exploration of that. We have some thoughts too. I think as a committee, I probably am speaking for the committee, and certainly anybody can add to this comment. But you know, I think we have always talked about making sure that we're very clear on handing over, you know, a completed project to town council and saying, here is the project as stated. We certainly did increase scope as we went along based on additional requirements that were directly related to the statement of need. So we made those adjustments as we went along, and certainly financially we were able to accommodate those. But at this point, as you mentioned, Bill, we're winding down the project. You know, we certainly did complete the scope of work. So we would be almost saying to the council, here's where we are. We've completed the scope of the work on time with this budget, and then from them looking for direction on next steps on basically whatever budget is left over.
That sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I think again, TBD, come back and have some further. I guess let's formally adopt the strategic plan, and then do the behind the scenes work of what would that look like if we were to go down the road. How would that happen? You know, we understand we're all, I can say, everyone is proud of the fact that the project was on time and on budget, right? And so there's an understanding and a recognition of kind of wrapping up the project with that understanding. That being said, as Kat indicated, and as some of my council colleagues have, you know, on both sides of the aisle have acknowledged, this is a capital item that's going to come back at some point to the town itself. And so if there's a mechanism by which we can incorporate it into the overall project, obviously doing it in a transparent way. Certainly, we want to make sure we do it transparently with the community. But again, we'll come back. We'll talk about it some more, Meg. We get some more information. We'll probably wind up talking offline about it a little bit as well.
Exactly. I think there's big communication aspect to this that we want to make sure we're very clear on. And I will acknowledge as well, I think, yep, Johnny, I see your hand. And let me just finish this thought really quick, is that, you know, obviously this is going to extend our engagement as a committee as well. So I will say that right out front. You know, obviously there's been a lot of time and effort put in place for this. So we just want to assess what that would look like and what the impact would mean for the committee and all the volunteers we have on the committee as well. So I think that's a factor for us to consider too. Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you, Bill and Megan. But I know we had discussed this informally at one point. And it's my understanding that when we did look at this, because it was not part of the original ed spec, and understandably so, because at that point we had financial constraints, right? If we don't want to rehash or relive the second and third referendums, but at the end, it ended up being not part of the ed spec, which made it so we didn't get that additional reimbursement. So there was no cost savings from doing it this way versus the other, but at least that's the way that it was left the last time we discussed the track and that. as opposed to the bleachers, which because of the press box and some of the ADA requirements in there, I wouldn't say or call it wiggle room, but I think some of the professional partners might laugh at the word wiggle room, but there was some leeway at least put in to take care of that and get some reimbursement at that point. So just keep that in mind.
Yep, understood. Thanks, John.
Yeah, very fair point. All right. I want to make sure we keep this open for continued conversation or concerns, thoughts, anything anybody wants to share. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind of what Johnny's raising. I'm not, I know our direction is set by the town council, and I don't sense that this is within the scope of it right now. So I feel like that would need to be changed, or directed. And again, the reimbursement question comes up, and then maybe the last focus is, if this is an item that we see as the resources being available for CapEx, is there any reason why simply the school itself wouldn't manage the track? What would the value of having the building committee remain to see this capital expenditure through, as there are times where clearly there are CapEx dollars within certain ranges of thresholds that you're not needing a building committee to oversee a project. What's the rationale of using the building committee versus not using the building committee?
I think, Michael, we still have to determine that, because again, council's saying there's a potential where we have leftover money from this project. Can we use it on something that does fit? It's on the campus, it's part of the school. But how does that work? I think we still need to take a look at. Does the committee need to pursue this, or can we close out the project and just use the money? You know what I mean? Granted that the council and the building committee have authorized those funds. So I think that's part of the discussion that, once the strategic plan puts that in motion, we can start to look at, financially, how do we look? I know we've been tracking our contingency logs and we are in a good spot, but I think that's part of the discussion. How do we execute this? And I'll if Russ wants to jump in too, like, where are we? I believe that Russ has been tracking this for some time, and how far along are we with design and stuff like that. So there are a lot of factors that go into this discussion.
Am I good to go, Kat?
You're good to go.
All right. Yeah, Michael and Johnny, it's a great point. I don't foresee this part of the project being under the purview of the building committee. I think we want to wrap up the building committee, get O&G out, close that up and be done with that. And this would be basically a funding mechanism for the town that we would handle in-house ourselves, just like we would if it was a capital expenditure.
But we need to flesh out all of those details, right? Like how does that work?
Yeah, if there's an advantage to continuing the use of the building committee, but I like the direction that you're considering, Russ, that internally between you and the personnel in the school, if the ability to navigate forward and the town wants to redirect these dollars into the CapEx budget of the schools to fix that, that makes sense. But I'm open to whatever it is that's there. I like the cleanness of the original charge, and being able to wrap that up on a first pass level at this. But I'm open to hearing if there's a particular advantage of pursuing it in a different way that involves the continuation of things up. That'd be helpful to hear.
Well, the only thing I would add is I don't think the council's looking to do anything that would make it more complicated. You know what I mean? In other words, as Kat said, we're going to research all options, and if it is indeed doable to follow the procedures that that Michael, Russ, and Johnny are kind of talking about, and dumping it into a capital project that the school district can maintain, or if it has to be done on the town side, however, whatever that structure looks like, I don't think the council's going to really. It's not going to really matter one way or the other. I think the first question the town council has to answer is it something we want to do? Is it something we even want to do? And then how do we do it? Those are the two questions that are going to be looked at. I know that just from a time standpoint, I think the goal would be is if we could do it, I think the thought process was to have it done or at least get it going. If we can do it all, in a relatively timely way and have it ready for the fall. In other words, have the work done over the summer and have it ready for the fall. That was discussed. Again, I don't know if that's even doable, Russ. I don't even think the situation with all that, but again, we're just looking at it. Is it an option? And then kind of more to come, I think is really what we're trying to say.
Okay. All right. No, we appreciate you bringing that forward, Bill, getting the details, Kat. We obviously know more to come, as you mentioned, more discussions, more details, but something for us to know that it's going to be on our agendas moving forward. It sounds like.
Russ, Johnny, and Mike's comments to my colleagues on the council, because that's important.
Yep. Agreed. Any other thoughts or comments before we move on to the next item? All right, perfect. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Oh, actually, any other questions for Bill? We should open that up too. If anything else that we need. Nope. Okay. All right. So let's move.
Welcome to the group, Bill.
I know Bill came out strong there.
Exactly. He's like, this is my first meeting, but I'd like to make certain that you stay together as a committee for another 6 years.
What's funny because I had a whole list of jokes I wanted to drop in with, but I'm like, it's late and you guys are working hard all day. You don't want to hear from me any more than you have to. Thank you.
All right. We'll wait for next time. We'll wait for the jokes for next time. All right. So let's go to Board of Education liaison report.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So Board of Education, we had our first meeting of the new term with new board members last Monday. And I just want to inform the group that Andrea Sabinski is our new chair for the Board of Education, and James Ratcliffe is our vice chair. And we'll be in full swing budget mode in a couple of weeks. We have a regular meeting next Monday, and then it's all about budget for a while. So that's about it.
All right. Any questions for Beth?
Oh, and our new superintendent obviously is on board officially now, and it was also his first meeting last week.
Oh, nice.
All's going well.
Excellent. Oh, good. Okay. 1928 Building Committee.
Yeah, thanks, Meg. Nothing substantive to report. We'll be meeting next week. We haven't met since before the holidays, so we'll have more to report next week. But everything's going along fine.
Okay. And we still got to do our tour, I think.
Yeah.
We got to get that scheduled.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay. I didn't want to do it tonight, certainly. So I don't want to go outside or do any of that if I don't have to. All right. So let's move on to project management contingency report. Russ.
All right. So we have a handful of change orders that we've been working on over the last month. We have a contingency log. Kat finally is feeling better, and we welcome her back to the town. Full health. So as part of that discussion about the track and the turf replacement, we have in essence $1.3 million remaining in the owner's contingency. And we're about $30,000 in the red for the central office. And do we have the CM? And you can see we're still over 2 million in the CM contingency. So this is what would be funding, where the money would be coming from for the track and the turf field replacement, or resurfacing the track and the turf replacement itself. And that's about all I have for that. And we'll get into the change orders as we come up to them.
Russ, how close are we to finalizing the deficit there on the central office?
Well, I think we still have a handful of PCOs coming.
Okay.
But we're close.
Okay.
And just for everybody's, because we're starting the track and turf discussion, just with those numbers Russ just said, you have the the two contingencies combined, and I minused out what we are going to take from the CM contingency to move over to cover the central office deficit. We have just over 3.3 million combined. And just in rough numbers, looking at what Russ was predicting for the turf and the track in our capital plan, the two of them combined are about 2.5 million.
All right. All right. Any questions for Russ on contingency? No. All right. Let's go on to architect report.
Hello, everyone. Same as last month, we've been reviewing pending change orders and payment applications.
All right. Excellent. Any questions for Archana? No. All right. CM report.
So the ADA parking, that's complete, a change at the curb. The gate went on the access road. So we're finishing up with miscellaneous punch list stuff. And then allowances and the remaining outstanding change orders we have. Plugging away at it.
Great. I've got to get up there to see the new parking spots. I just haven't been in I haven't driven up to see, but I assume that was a really nice ad. People are happy with that change. Have we heard?
Oh yeah, it's being used every day.
Excellent. Great. All right. Any other questions for Jess? All right. Then we'll go to owner's rep move manager report.
For both projects, we continue to track punch list items as well as closeout documents, and pretty much it.
Okay. Any questions for Chris? No. All right. We'll move on to financial subcommittee report. I don't believe there was anything of significance discussed in our meeting. Actually, I think it was a very quick meeting last Friday, if I remember correctly. So I think the bulk of that discussion was on the change orders and invoices that we'll talk about in the next portion of the agenda. Anything else anybody from the financial subcommittee wants to add? I don't believe there was anything else. All right, financial report, anything, Kat, we need to worry about?
Nope, no update on that.
Okay, so we'll go right on to item G. So could I have a motion to approve the following invoice package for Farmington High School as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I'll give you, Bill, do you want to abstain on these as well?
Well, I guess under Robert's rules, it's encouraged that I vote. So I would have to see a reason why I can't support it. So I'll vote for you. I'm gonna vote aye.
Okay. All right, so we'll open this up for discussion.
All right, so there's two invoices for this month for FHS. The first is project manager. This is Russ's hours for the previous month, and as always, backed up with his timesheets. And then the second invoice is from Environmental Systems Company. This is in the amount of $2,650. This is the balance that was due for when we added the culinary display, the display in the FHS culinary classroom. So this closes out this purchase order. And then we have a couple of change orders.
All right, first change order, PCO 277 is for the replacement of the backflow preventer. Last December, if you remember, we got down real cold. The backflow froze. We had a leak. We went through a bunch of different scenarios with the design team and ended up having to replace the backflow preventer. We got a credit for the existing backflow preventer, and a bunch of back and forth, it resulted in a $20,595 change order for the project. And I do this quite frequently. These are all sent to the decision-making group and were reviewed and approved, and I apologize for not stating that right off the bat. PCO 279, we had to replace a heat pump and some valves in area F. This was on an existing system. We found out after everything was going back and getting turned on that these weren't working, so we had to replace them in order that we would have heat in the central office for a cost of $13,550.67. PCO 289, we reduced the scope of painting in area F in the electrical and mechanical rooms. On review and looking at everything, we decided that they didn't need to be repainted, so we took a credit of $2,653. PCO 300, Fieldhouse Improvements Final Cleaning. We paid for additional cleaning in the Fieldhouse in addition to after things were completed from PCO 252 for $352. Excuse me. PCO 312, attic stock relocation and additional room signage. So with the size of the project, we had to temporarily move attic stock from one area to another. So we had to ask O&G and their subs to do that for us. And we asked for additional room signage for ADA for rooms 1214 and 2112 and the amount of $3,038.
That's our last one for the high school package.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Devin.
Any questions? Anybody need any additional clarification on any of those items? Obviously, the biggest one was that first one, something we've been just, was under discussion last winter.
Yeah.
We're just catching up on everything now. Anything? All good? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. So we'll move right on to item G2. Could I have a motion to approve the following invoice package for central office as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
All right, so the first invoice for this is from O&G for the previous month's work. It's in the amount of $181,616.30. This is reviewed by the architect. The time the agenda went out, we didn't have the signed copy, but that it has been reviewed and reviewed internally as well. And then
Well, from here, I don't know whether you're gonna go that way. Oh.
And then the second invoice is from Arcadis. This is for their central office portion. Last month was $990. And then we have a couple more change orders.
Okay, PCO 251, miscellaneous general trades, T&M work for the central office. As you can see, it's zero cost change order for the soap dishes and dispensers and added plywood backboards in the IDF room and an additional cleaning for the central office after the work has already been completed. This change order is for $1,079. PCO 256, replace existing doors and patch CMU walls in the central office. So after the demo had taken place and everything went on, we had to replace some of the existing doors. They just didn't, they were in bad shape when the job started. And there were holes in some from the demo and removal of some of the interior work. We had to patch some holes in the CMU walls so they didn't see through the walls. And this resulted in a change order of $9,476. PCO 307, central office conference room replacement glass. one of the windows had a busted seal and it was fogging up. So we replaced it, we changed it out, had it fixed for $2,379. PCO 311, reduced scope and painting in the central office storage room. Same auspice as the change order before. We decided it didn't need to be done, so we took a credit of $1,555.
And that's it for the central office package.
All right, thanks, Deb.
Right. Any questions? Any additional detail on any of those? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, so we'll move right on to item H, other business. So we just have two quick things we want to cover here. So first, can I get a motion to cancel the February 4th building committee meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes on that one, so you can clear that February 4th meeting off your calendars for next month. The other thing I do want to just get a quick update on, just based on our conversation when we were together last month. We did have a conversation about some concerns on some noise outside the building that we were hearing from neighbors. So I just wanted to know, I think either Kat, Russ, somebody, if you guys could give us just a quick update on where we stand.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
since our last discussion, we have changed some of the internal parameters for occupancy settings of the building because it was kicking on pretty early in the morning. I have not heard any complaints since we've made that change. I will have the police department conduct another noise test. We've done 2 noise tests before. I can have them go out again and kind of confirm if that has made a significant difference. But I think from the neighbors, no news is good news right now, and they've been pretty vocal about the noise. So not hearing anything is kind of reassuring that has made a change, but we will confirm that with the noise test. And I'm not sure if, I know this has been discussed with our professional partners, so if I'm missing anything, please jump in. Oh, so I got it.
Nailed it.
All right.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. All right, excellent. Yeah, we'll just keep our eye on that, Kat. If you could just let us know
Yes.
when we get results, just because we know that was something that was of concern. So just so we can stay aware, because we all get questions too when we're walking around out in the grocery store and everywhere else too. So all right, great. Any other business that we need to complete this evening? Anything else you need from us, Kat or Devin?
No, I think we're good.
All right, we're all good. All right, so could I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We will adjourn at 5:39 this evening. Thank you, everyone, for the discussion, for the time. I appreciate it.